There is a visual language for poverty in America, and you already speak it fluently. You know what cheap looks like before you read a single price tag. White background, blue block text, no photography, or photography so lifeless it might as well be a diagram. You learned this language the way you learned every other class signal, not through instruction, but through repetition. Aisle after aisle, until the message became invisible. Budget products don't just cost less, they look like they cost less. And that wasn't an accident. It was a design decision, made by people who understood exactly what they were encoding. In April 2026, Walmart redesigned nearly 10,000 great value products. New colors, real food photography, typography with warmth. The food inside the box didn't change, the price didn't change, only the surface changed. And customers said they weren't embarrassed to put it in their cart. So the question becomes, what were they embarrassed by before? Not the product, not the price, the packaging. Which means we built a visual system that made saving money feel like something to hide. Welcome to the Threads of Culture, the show that unpacks design, branding, and the cultural forces shaping the global stage. Today, how the largest food brand in America reveals that we've been designing poverty to look like poverty. We're going to trace where that visual language came from, how three very different brands tried to escape it, and the unsettling question of who actually benefits when affordable stops looking affordable. The visual language of cheap has a precise origin. In the late 1970s, American grocery stores introduced what they literally called generic products. Yellow packaging, black text, no brand name, no logo, no imagery. The design was almost punitive, as if saving money required a kind of public confession. You could buy generic corn or generic bleach, and every other shopper in the checkout line would know exactly what your cart said about your bank account. This wasn't a failure of design, it was design working exactly as intended. National brands paid for premium shelf placement. Retailers needed those national brands to look worth the premium, so the store brand had to be visually subordinate. The hierarchy wasn't just about price, it was about permission. The national brand gave you permission to feel like a consumer. The generic gave you permission to survive. By the 1990s, store brands got names. Great Value launched in 1993, Market Pantry, Sam's Choice. But the visual codes barely shifted. White backgrounds replaced yellow, blue replaced black. The products got labels, but the language stayed the same. Clean meant clinical, simple meant lesser. The word value itself became a euphemism, a polite way of saying, this is what you buy when you can't buy what you actually want. And for 30 years, that system held. What broke it was inflation. Between 2022 and 2025, food prices pushed millions of consumers out of their usual brands and into private label for the first time. These weren't the traditional store brand shoppers. These were people who'd always reached for Kraft, for Tide, for Oreo, and suddenly found themselves doing math in the aisle. They discovered something the industry had quietly known for years. The quality gap between national brands and private label had essentially closed. The products were comparable, but the packaging still carried a stigma they no longer deserved. Walmart's own focus groups surfaced the tension in language that is hard to forget. Customers said they appreciated the savings but were not necessarily proud of what was in their cart. That phrase is doing enormous work. Not necessarily proud. It means the shame wasn't about the food, it was about being seen, about the visual broadcast of economic status encoded into every white box and every flat blue logo. Great Value is in 9 out of 10 American households. It is not a niche product. It is practically a public utility. And for decades, using it came with a small, persistent tax on dignity. Walmart hired Jones Knowles Ritchie to fix it. JKR, the agency behind Burger King's celebrated 2021 rebrand, a firm that charges premium rates to solve premium problems. They introduced a system of 15 distinct colors: deep navy, teal green, lavender, magenta. Real food photography. Category-specific treatments designed to work on both a physical shelf and a digital screen. The result looks nothing like the old Great Value. It looks, if anything, like a direct-to-consumer brand that sells through Instagram. And that resemblance is precisely where the story gets complicated. Consider the other store brands that faced this same problem and chose differently. In Canada, Loblaw's no-name brand kept its stark yellow packaging and its deadpan product descriptions and became a cult phenomenon. The austerity became the aesthetic. People shared it on social media. They wore it ironically. But that irony was powered by a specific demographic: middle-class consumers who found minimalism charming because they could afford not to need it. No Name worked as a style choice when the buyer wasn't actually trapped by the price. In 2017, a startup called Brandless tried the opposite. Beautiful, minimalist packaging, everything $3, no brand names. It looked like Aesop for your pantry. The original Brandless failed within 3 years. Consumers couldn't locate it on the spectrum. Was it cheap or expensive? The visual language of affordable and the visual language of minimalist premium turned out to be almost identical, separated only by context. And then there's Kirkland's Signature, Costco's private label, which became a genuine status brand without ever looking premium. Kirkland's packaging is clean and consistent but unmistakably store brand. The difference is the membership model. Buying Kirkland signals that you're a Costco member, which signals savviness, not poverty. The same visual codes read completely differently because of where you bought them. Great Value doesn't have that shelter. Walmart carries class connotations that Costco does not. The rebrand isn't just changing a logo, it's trying to change the meaning of the store it sits inside. But there's a version of this story where the rebrand solves the wrong problem. The old white packaging was a wayfinding system. If you were shopping on a budget, those visual codes helped you find the affordable option fast. Making everything look premium could make budget shopping harder and more disorienting. The people who need Great Value to cost $1.50 don't need it to look like $4.50. They need it to stay $1.50. And there's a deeper question beneath that practical one. Walmart has spent years courting higher-income consumers through Walmart Plus, through delivery, through store redesigns that feel increasingly like Target. The Great Value rebrand may be less about giving dignity to existing customers and more about making the brand palatable to new, wealthier ones who wouldn't be caught dead with the old packaging. If that's the case, the story isn't about democratizing good design, it's about gentrifying it. Improving the neighborhood so someone else can move in. Some Reddit users noticed this instinctively. "The new design looks like Kroger," one commenter wrote, which isn't a compliment. It's a recognition that distinctiveness got traded for respectability. And respectability, in design, almost always means looking like you belong to a class above your own. This is the tension that won't resolve neatly, and it's worth sitting with. Private label now accounts for more than 1 in 4 items in American grocery carts, and AI-driven packaging tools are making polished design cheaper to produce at scale. We're heading toward an aisle where everything looks equally premium, where design quality stops being a proxy for product quality entirely. That sounds like progress. But it also means the last remaining visual shorthand for "this is the affordable one" disappears. And when everything looks like it costs $4, the question shifts from "what does this look like?" to "who is this actually for?" So what is Great Value's rebrand actually about? Not packaging, not typography, not food photography. It's about the fact that we built an entire visual economy around the premise that affordability should be visible, that saving money should come with a mark, legible from across the aisle, that separates the people who choose from the people who compromise. And now that enough of the country has been pushed into that second category by forces beyond their control, the mark became unbearable. Not because it was ugly, because it was accurate. And accuracy, when it comes to class in America, is the one thing nobody wants on display. So here is what I want to know. The next time you're in an aisle and you reach past the plain box for the one with better typography, better color, a more confident photograph of pasta, are you choosing quality? Or are you paying for the feeling of not being seen as someone who had to choose? The aisle has been answering that question for 30 years. It was only ever waiting for you to catch up. If this changed how you see a grocery shelf, it will change how someone else sees their cart. Share this with someone who thinks about the things that are designed to go unnoticed. Until next time, this has been The Threads of Culture.